This is CW Iowa Live.
Good morning, everyone. It's 9 minutes past 9 o'clock right now. Welcome back to the program. Lou and Jackie here, along with our good friend Sheree Clark from Fork in the Road. And it's getting to be that time of year, Jackie. And again, believe it or not, we are in November, which means the holidays aren't that far away.
They're not. So we're thinking about entertaining, having people over. Maybe our kids are coming back from school, and we want to make sure and give them the best food possible, because sometimes people are, do we call them picky eaters, or just have certain diet restrictions that we want to be aware of and have options for them as well. We've had this conversation before. Maybe if they have something certain that they have to eat, they can bring it with them. But it's nice when you can have a couple, we'll call side dishes this morning, to say, you know what, I'm thinking of you and want to make sure you have something to eat as well.
Amen. Well, this time of year, we know there's a lot of stress. You know, it's like getting the perfect gift, and there's so much work, and there's holiday parties, and there's this, and there's that, and the other thing. And when you're entertaining and you find out that one of your guests has some kind of a dietary restriction, that can throw the host or hostess into a frenzy. So the reason I want to talk about this now on November 2nd, rather than really close to Thanksgiving and Christmas, is that with a little tiny bit of advanced planning, not only is it not stressful, it's actually kind of fun. So let's talk about
Fun how? How is this fun?
Fun because we get to try new things,
Okay.
and explore and learn new things, and find out that maybe the perceptions that we had about certain ways of eating are not 100% accurate.
And you might discover something that you never knew was out there. And what a great surprise to create something that might have a restriction. You don't tell anybody about it.
Exactly.
Let them consume it and then see how great it is. And then you go, hey, by the way. Yeah.
Now you're singing my song,
Yeah.
Lou. Exactly. So the first thing I'm going to suggest when you're a host or hostess and you find out that somebody has a dietary restriction,
Right.
is to don't hesitate to ask questions.
Okay.
So the important thing is to be clear about what it is. First of all, is it a choice that they're making, like becoming a vegetarian or becoming a vegan or adopting a paleo diet? Or is it something a little bit more serious and life-threatening? For example, someone with celiac disease who, if they consume something, or a food allergy, consume something, it makes them sick or worse. So be clear about what that is.
And that's really important too, because we were talking off camera that maybe somebody went to school and they discovered something, or they decided to experiment with something, and you want to be able to respect that.
Exactly. So that I'm not saying that if a choice is less important or should carry less weight, but let's face it, if someone has a nut allergy and by mistake you serve them walnuts, you could have a bigger issue on your hand than somebody unhappy
I was
about.
gonna say, you're not at the party, you're at the hospital
Right.
emergency room, so we don't want any of those
That's
situations.
a buzzkill,
Yeah, that's
for
a little
sure.
bit of a buzzkill. Been there, done that. So let's talk about some ways, and you said no stress. Anytime when I hear kitchen and having to prepare things, I hear stress. So how am I able to create something delicious, perfect for entertaining but not stressful?
Well, the first thing that I did for today to have a low stress Thursday morning for me was I went to the local stores and said, what could I get that would fit many diet restrictions?
Okay.
So two things I brought from two different stores and one thing I made myself.
Okay.
So let's start on the far right with the cucumber looking salad.
Okay.
That is compliments of Gateway Market over in the Gateway area. And I'll read you the ingredients really quickly on that. It's made from cucumbers, there's green bell pepper, onion, ginger, garlic, apple cider vinegar, sugar, salt, dill, black pepper, and a little bit of vegetable oil. Now, the reason I selected this is it fits a lot of different criteria. The
Okay.
first one being that it is obviously vegan. There's no animal product whatsoever in there. The second thing is it's raw, which you know appeals to me because I choose to do primarily raw vegan lifestyle. The other thing is that it's pretty healthy. There aren't a lot of
Smells
things.
great.
It does smell great. You can taste it. I brought you
Well,
a fork
I was going to
this
say,
week.
I love homemade pickles or pickling of cucumbers that eventually turn into something delicious, and that's exactly what I'm smelling right now. Even
Yes.
though these are obviously in more of a cucumber form.
Right.
That's
But
what it
it
reminds
does
me
have a
of.
pickly kind of a taste.
Yes, it does.
Because of the vinegar and so forth. If you wanted to, just by looking at that and reading the ingredients, you could pretty much replicate it at home. Remember, ingredients are listed in the order of quantity, so it's mostly cucumber, etc. And if you want to do some swap outs, if I were making this myself, I would probably do two things. One, that is my sense is that is a seasoning, a dill seasoning. I would probably use fresh dill instead of of regular. So that would mean I would use a little bit more. And then the
tasty.
sugar, I might substitute something else. If rather than cane sugar, for example, I'd probably use coconut. But that would be the only change.
Or stevia, or what else?
Stevia potentially could work. It depends
But
on.
would coconut be a little overpowering for something like this, covering up the flavor of the cucumber?
Because coconut sugar doesn't have a coconut
coconut
taste.
sugar.
So,
Okay,
yes.
not coconut.
Thank
Okay,
you.
okay,
Thanks for clarifying.
okay.
Yeah, I may have just said coconut.
Okay.
So coconut sugar
very
would be
tasty.
a good substitute. So that's a great option. So I can tell that I hit
I
a
was
home
gonna say
run on that
fresh,
one.
crunchy, and being able to pick it up in a store and put it in a cute dish. Hello.
Yes.
Now you're
So-
screaming my language.
So, so the good thing, because it's a side dish, somebody that's the healthy eater might look at the turkey if they're vegetarian or vegan and say, I'm not going to eat that, but I'll have a double or triple helping of that and a side salad and so forth. Then if we want to go to the other end of the tray, another one that I picked up, this one is from Campbell's Nutrition on 42nd and University.
Right.
Was just there yesterday.
Yes, great place. This is a quinoa salad, and the gluten-free ingredients in this are organic quinoa, tomato, cucumber, again, starting a cucumber, parsley, we've got green onion, black beans, pumpkin seeds, and then some seasonings. I selected this one because it's fresh, it's a little bit denser, a little bit more filling. It is something to remember. There are grains in there. So someone on a paleo diet, and again, that's why we're asking people, what are your
questions.
diet restraints? A paleo diet avoids grains, including ancient grains. So this is applicable for vegetarians and vegans. It's not raw because the grains have been cooked.
Oh, they have.
They have been cooked. You can, however, make a raw version of it, minus the beans. And if you're interested in that, if you want to reach out to me, I'll explain to you how to do that. So this one also has a lot of option. I think it's a nice substitute for dressing for people who don't want to eat dressing.
I was gonna say, I love the color, very fall looking, and I love that they're using ingredients that you could make very fresh right now. Obviously, a lot of us still have cucumbers hanging out from gardens or farmers market. Pumpkin seeds, how appropriate is that as
This
we're
time
heading
of
into
year.
fall? Corn, everything involved. So it's even though it's something you might have to pick up quick because you're trying to think of others, this is very much very thoughtful at the same time of the time of season we're in as well. So I love all of those kind of combined.
So beside the cooked grain in here, everything else is raw.
Everything else is raw. Yes, the corn they may have cooked, but the corn doesn't have to be cooked. If you buy frozen corn, the cell walls of the vegetable have been broken down. You just put them into the dish and stir it in, and it will be perfectly
maybe you
fine.
froze some sweet corn from the summertime.
Yep,
Would
or
be
buy a
perfect
bag of it
addition.
if you
Or buy a
really-
bag of it. There you go.
Exactly. So for the last dish, I wanted to make something myself fresh, and I wanted it to be easy and fast and something I could do this morning before I came here to the station. So this is a take on a Waldorf salad. And if you're familiar with Waldorf salads, they are typically made with tomato, celery, there's grapes, and then nuts typically are the ingredients. The thing that makes it not vegetarian or not vegan is there's usually mayonnaise in it.
Okay, right.
So you can do
Can we throw
two.
some Snickers in there too?
We could definitely do that, but we won't
Oh,
for this
fine,
segment.
fine.
So what we're going to do, there's two ways to skin this cat. You can either buy Vegenaise, which is a
Vegenaise.
What?
Vegenaise.
What is vegenaise?
That
Vegenaise,
exists?
it exists. It is a
right.
vegan version of mayonnaise. So mayonnaise, as we know, is typically made from eggs and oil.
Right.
Oil,
No
right.
eggs. No eggs were compromised in making Vegenaise. But I made you a homemade vegetarian raw salad dressing just out of cashews and a little bit of apple cider vinegar, a little bit of lemon juice, and then that's the thing that serves as the quote dressing.
Kinda
So
like
if you want to
binder.
taste that one has, I think it's a savory with a hint of sweet because it's got the apples and it's got the grapes. I love the nuts. I love the contrast of the crunch. And to me, it's a great thing. Snickers, like I said, Jackie, I'm probably going to say ixnay.
Hey, you need to ask everybody questions about what they like in their diet. No, I'm just kidding.
You know, I might serve the Snickers on the side,
Okay.
already chopped up, which is another point to be made. Remember, if you're concerned about putting something into the dish, like let's say we've got somebody with that nut allergy,
Right.
I could make that Waldorf salad and have the chopped nuts away from it so that people who choose to add those can.
They can just sprinkle them on there, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, Reese's Pieces would be good in here too.
Yeah, maybe not so much. Halloween is over, kids. It's
I
time.
know we have leftovers.
You know what I would love in this to make it more like of a lunch proportion is a little chicken, and I know that doesn't fit in your world, but you're still dealing with a lean protein
That would
in
be
mine.
good.
Yes.
That would be good.
So think about different ways that you can make it special to you, something you'd enjoy, but variations that your entire company can enjoy as well.
I love that. Mix and match. Because you're right, I wouldn't choose to partake in the chicken, but if it were there on the side and someone wanted to add it to their dish, we are all getting to share the meal together. And let's don't judge. Let's plan ahead and let's be thoughtful hosts. And
Yeah, the apple cider vinegar combination here, that is really a neat
Tang.
taste. Yeah.
Yep.
It
Say
really
out of
is.
the park in all three of these. So great ideas, whether you just want to run to the store or you have time to whip something up fresh, but some great side dish ideas as we're heading into the holidays. Sherry, I know people have tons of questions of give me some more ideas or things I can do because I want to be thoughtful as I'm entertaining or even family coming over because sometimes we forget to ask these questions and we want to make sure
Right.
we're making everybody happy. So how can they get in touch with you?
so an email option for me is info@fork-road.com, and then my website is www.fork-road.com. Come often, come early,
come
and plan
always.
ahead.
Okay, of these
Love
three,
it.
if for lunch today, we have ample supplies of all three. Which one would you go for?
I would do the one that I made because I know exactly what's in it and I made it to my specifications and my taste. So
Okay.
I would do the
There you
Waldorf.
go.
Yeah.
So the Waldorf salad.
Yep.
There you go. And as we said, we're not trying to make everybody raw or vegan or anybody out there, but you can make healthier steps in your life to make a better you for the rest of this year and the future. Thank you, Sherry. Always great to see you and very
Thank
tasty
you.
this morning as well. If you missed any of this, want to watch it again, you go to weareiowa.com. Otherwise, just get in touch with this wonderful lady as she can help you get through the holiday season in a wonderful way.